Hi there. So today what we're going to talk about is the law of detachment and the law of syllogism. So basically what this is you use logic to draw conclusions based on a set of given information. So the law of detachment and the law of syllogism are two laws of logic that use facts, definition, and accepted properties to make logical arguments. The law of detachment, we're going to call it LOD, is if you have P, then Q, your hypothesis, then your conclusion. And that is true. So like we've been doing before, where we look to see if the conclusion is true along with the hypothesis, and you have another statement where P is true, then you can conclude that Q is true. So here's a couple examples. If you are late for class, then you will get a detention. Is that true? If you are late for class, then you will get a detention. That's true. So if P, then Q. Jake was late for class. Because that could be true, what's going to happen to Jake? Then Jake will get a detention. If you like country music, then you like to line dance. If you haven't tried it, it's fun. If you like country music, then you like to line dance. So if Nick likes country music, what can we say about Nick? Nick likes to line dance. If it said, let's say, Joe likes to line dance, instead of Nick likes country music, because it went right to the conclusion, it's no conclusion because we didn't have that hypothesis saying Joe likes country music, so we can't say Joe likes to line dance right away. So we would write no conclusion. The law of syllogism, though, is if you have P then Q and another statement that says Q then R, so your Q's match, so you would have whatever your conclusion is, then be the hypothesis of the next statement. And if they both are true, then you can say, if you have P, then you're going to get R, which is also true. Law of syllogism, LOS. So here's an example. If you can read music, then you can play the guitar. If you can play the guitar, then you can keep a beat. So if you have your conclusion of your first statement and your hypothesis of the second statement, if they match, we just say, if you can read music, then you keep a beat. So this basically cancels each other out. This is starting the chain rule, which we will go into more detail tomorrow. If the sun is shining, then it is a beautiful day. If it is a beautiful day, then we'll have a picnic. So again, you look to see if your conclusion and your hypothesis match, and since they do, they basically cancel each other out. So we can say, if the sun is shining, then we will have a picnic. So what we're going to do, I'm going to give you a bunch of examples, and we have to decide whether we're going to use LOS or LOD. Okay? And then we have to say if it's true or if we cannot find a conclusion. So, number 1, it says if it rains, then practice will be canceled. It rained on Tuesday. So 3 is basically saying, does it follow what was already stated? So if it rains, then practice will be canceled. It rained on Tuesday, so the conclusion was practice was canceled on Tuesday. Is that true or is that false? We are using the law of detachment, so this is a true statement. Because we had our hypothesis given in the second one, our conclusion came right through. Example 2, if Nick takes driver's ed, then he can get his license. If Nick gets his license, then he will buy a truck. So your conclusion would be, if Nick takes driver's ed, then he will buy a truck. This is LOS. We look to see if these two match. Since they do, they would have canceled. So you would have said, if Nick takes driver's ed, then he will buy a truck. And that's a true statement. If Pam hits a bullseye, she will be darts champion. Pam is the darts champion. So this is law of detachment again. And remember, step 2 has to be the hypothesis. Since it's the conclusion, then we cannot have a conclusion. So this is no conclusion. If Derek goes to the movies, then Patty will go to the movies. If Alina goes to the movies, then Derek will go to the movies. So the conclusion, if Patty goes to the movies, then Alina will go to the movies. This is law of syllogism, so here we look to see if those match. Patty and Alina, not the same person. So this is no conclusion. We cannot conclude that this is true because those two middle ones do not match. The fastest runner will win the race. Jill is the fastest runner. This is true because your hypothesis matches. And this is law of detachment. Last one. If there is a fire, then the firemen will come. If they come, the firemen will put it out. So your conclusion would be, if there is a fire, then the firemen will put it out. Your middle terms cancel. If there is a fire, the firemen will put it out. This is true using law of syllogism. You have a worksheet for homework tonight. Once you finish, come grab the worksheet from me. Have a great day.